If a debut author is not able to sell a series very often, how do they fit all of the world building that they need into book one? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. You need to have sufficient world building, whether this is book one in a series or whether it is a standalone novel. If you look at people who are publishing fantasy series, they have sufficient world building in book one for you to understand the world. It is important for you to be able to have enough world building for you to understand how the world and the way that it works impacts your character and therefore drives the plot. But you need a lot less of it on the page than you think. If you are coming in here and saying, okay, well, I need 7 books to be able to explain all of this political backstory and all of these machinations and all of these things that have happened, that's all backstory. You don't need all of that on the page. That is there to serve as a foundation and a structure for the novel so that it informs the way that your characters move through this world. You do not actually need all of that detail for us to be able to understand the story. It is important for you as the author to know it so that writing is not wasted, but that informs the way your characters move and it helps to make your characters feel very consistent on the page. But I do not need to actually know all of the political history, all of the backstory, all of the royal family's genealogy in order for me to understand the story that is in front of me right now. So the frustrating answer is one, you need a lot less of this than you think that you do. And two, everybody needs to have sufficient world building in book one, whether this is book one of a series or whether it is a standalone book. It is the same kind of work. It is the same amount of information. And yeah, you're going to point to a couple of series and be like, well, they have all of this extra stuff, but that wasn't the stuff that was necessary for you to understand the story. The stuff that shows up in book 3, 4, 7, all of these books farther along in the series, it's fun and it's interesting, but it was not necessary for you to be able to understand why the characters do what they do and why they are moving through the world the way that they are. Everything that was necessary was included in the first book, and you're going to have to do that in a standalone exactly the same way.